If you are like most people, there is something about your life that you wish you could change. It might be something you're doing that you keep repeating that you wish you could stop, or it could be a pattern that you see and you don't know why you continue this destructive behavior. That is the most common thing I see. And it's not because you don't want to be different, it's because you don't know how. So really, that is the reason I wrote this book, the H2O Workbook. It is to give you an intentional process to connect the dots between what is happening in your everyday life and why. So if you're willing to hang with me, I'm going to take you down that road and we're going to see if we can get some answers. So let's start by looking at what I call the core issues chart. Honestly, I really believe that this is the key to moving you in the right direction. And the reason for that is most people I talk to are facing something you see in the black outside ring of this circle. It's a struggle with anger, with anxiety, with addiction, with relational brokenness, all kinds of stuff like that is what people think is their problem. And they don't make progress because they get stuck in that outside circle. The reason why is it's not really their problem. It's the symptom of the deeper core issue. So if you'll notice in the blue circle, there are 4 core issues I label unmet needs, unhealed wounds, fear, and pride. Then under those there are what I call the hardcore issue. Under everything is a distorted view of God. Once we understand the thing we thought was our problem isn't our problem at all, we can begin to deal with our real core issues, and then we will find freedom. So yes, you will see that my book recommends that you do this process with a few other people. If you're part of an actual recovery program, that's going to be provided for you. But if you are getting this book because you know you need it, you can gather a few friends. I recommend the same gender, women with women, men with men. It's amazing how much deeper we go when we are with a group of people of the same gender that are willing to begin to get honest about what's going on with their lives. However, while I say that, I've also seen this process benefit people who weren't able to become part of a group because of where they lived, their situation, but they took the material, which is both a chapter and a workbook section for every one of the principles that I'm going to be talking to you about, and they did it themselves. Kind of like a journaling process, and they did make progress. So yes, I prefer a group setting. It gives you a chance to see yourself through other people's situations. When they're talking about an issue that they struggle with, often it'll be a breakthrough for you because your defenses are down and you will see yourself in their situation. But you also can do this process alone. Well, the answer to that is actually both yes and no. The good news is it's mostly that you will find relief. You will find your life is so drastically different you won't even believe it. You'll say, I bet you anything, you'll say to yourself what people have said to me over and over again. I wish I'd done this decades ago. But while I say that, because it is possible, you're human, I'm human, we can slip back in our old ways if we're not alert. And if we don't constantly allow God to show us our hearts, we'll slip back. But as long as you are aware of the ways that your core issues have drug you into a pattern that you didn't like, I know with me, I ain't ever going back there again. So that's what I think is going to happen for you too. This is definitely not a self-help process. That's kind of like into our American way of life. Everything's self-help, this, that, and the other, do it yourself. But what I've discovered is we're the ones that get ourselves into the mess, and we need God's help to get us out of the mess. And so if you want a picture, I'm one of those people who loves pictures. It just helps me grasp concepts. If you want a really cool picture of what this really does, this process, it's like there's an operating room, an operating table. God's the surgeon, but nobody's lying there on the table. There's no patient. And you realize because of this process, I need to get up on that table. So you go over and you climb up on that operating table, and at that moment, God has the best chance to be able to touch the areas he's been wanting to touch all along.